Today's reading is from Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love, a beautiful, beautiful writing. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant? Gorgeous? Talented? Fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us. It's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Let us take these beautiful words deep within and ponder them. Oh, the love of God that is deep within each of us so shines today in this room from each one of us, showing that we are truly love itself. And as we embrace that, we share that with each other, knowing that we are the children of God. We are born of the dust. We are born of the stars. We are born of love. And so as we learn to let our light shine, so we shine and share with others the love that we are. And as we do that, we illuminate our universe. We illuminate our community here. We illuminate Kettering and move into Dayton everywhere we go. We illuminate with love and light. And so knowing that each one of us is that light of love, we know that everything that is done here today in the community, the music, the children's service, Consciousness Cafe, each other's light is all in divine order. And so I say thank you for knowing that each word I've spoken is the truth. And so I say, and so it is.
So we have this theme for the year, which is living an extraordinary life, and we've been talking about how we make ourselves happy. And I realized as I was thinking about it that since we're all connected, if we want to be happy, we sort of have to know that the rest of the world is happy too. You know, we're so interwoven that if there's suffering in any corner, it changes the whole. If there's misery over there, it affects me. And so I remembered this beautiful Marianne Williamson quote for today's reading because I really believe it. I really do. I think that the way we create a world where everyone has the same chance to be happy is, as I think it was William Blake put it, by polishing the lamp from which the light within us pours out into the world, by shining as brightly as we possibly can, by manifesting the glory of the life within us. And I think that when we do that for ourselves, we also do it for the world. We can't help it because we're one with the world. We're one with everyone, with each other, and with all creation. And I'm also pondering a whole new story about humanity. And when we think about the way we've been raised and the whole Industrial Revolution and all of the things that it has instilled in us, We have a long history of believing that if anything's going to change, we have to go out and make it. We have to work it. We have to force it. We have to make a decision and go out and make it be the way we want it to be. And that's really brought about some wonderful things. It has. The civil rights movement, the animal rights movement, the green movement, the women's movement. Now we're at 75% of the country where same-sex marriage is legal, now that Alabama just went yesterday or the day before. It's a remarkable thing. It's a remarkable thing. There are hundreds of those kinds of things, and yet all of that doing good has a dark side. And it has a dark side that we can see whether we do good for our family members or whether we go out and march for the world. Helping others for a lot of people is a way to feel more evolved than the person you're helping. It's a real subtle subconscious thing. It makes us feel better than someone who's not doing it, for example. And it all comes from that same old story we've been telling ourselves. And since it's part of the dark side, I always like to bring the dark side up into a full view, because that's the only way we ever act differently. As long as it's subconscious, it runs us and we don't even know it, right? Sometimes taking action without awareness can actually make the situation worse, not better. For example, if you think about someone who has a teenager or an adult child who has issues with drugs and alcohol, say, you know, there will almost always come a time where the kid comes to mom and dad and says, I need you to bail me out. I need some money to get me out of this fix, or to pay a fine or something like that. And having talked with hundreds of parents in this situation, there is a theme that runs through it, and there's a theme in our minds. It's part of what we've picked up, is if I don't do this for my child won't love me anymore. It's about separation, right? So that they give the kid the money, and pretty soon, sometimes a week or two, sometimes a month or two later, the kid comes back. I need your help again. I need you to bail me out again. And on and on and on, again and again and again, until finally the parent says, you made this bed, now you lie in it. I am through bailing you out. There's a hardening that happens. Separation again, but the parent says, no more. You have to hit your bottom, which is actually a really kind thing to do, but we don't know how to do it. So we harden ourselves and we say, you know, you made this bed, you go lie in it. And there is a further sense of separation. See, the dark side is that sense of separation gets bigger if we just keep working at things without first becoming aware of what we're doing. That sense of, I need to do this to make myself feel better than, so I can feel good enough, gets worse if we just keep working it without first becoming aware. Which is why I've been talking all month about this new story I think we need to tell ourselves. As a species, as all of humanity, a new story about us on this planet. Because I think we're at a time where our evolution is poised for an enormous leap out of the old story and into the new. And there's always this moment. I love this. There's a Facebook meme I just love. It says, where one door closes, another one opens, but those hallways are a bitch. Pardon my French, but I love that because it's really true. When you let go of an old story, you're kind of standing there like this, waiting for the new story to show up so you know where to put your foot next. So I want to talk about that uncomfortable place a little bit today. We humans are poised at this place of giant leap forward, but it's a leap we can't make by force. We can't work it into coming about. We can't push it into showing up. We have to arrive there by allowing, there's that word again, allowing our consciousness to expand. And of course, that can only be done one by one by one. If I allow my consciousness to expand, I can't at the same time allow your consciousness or force or work your consciousness into expanding. It only happens inside of me. Now, there are consequences, because when I do allow my consciousness to expand, it shows. When you allow your consciousness to go, it shows, and things around you begin to change. It can't help but change, because there's only one of us. There's only one mind, and so when my mind changes, the content of the mind changes, and when your mind changes, it changes even more, etc., etc. So as each one of us does it, we change the overall sea of consciousness in which we live. The other part is that, as Marianne Williamson says, when we change our consciousness, when we allow that expansion in awareness, we show other people it can be done. And not only that it can be done, but that it's really cool. It's really wonderful to have a bigger picture of life. I love these words. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. I love that. And I love the next line too. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that someone won't feel uncomfortable around you, won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that's within us, that we were born with. It's not just in us, it's in everyone. And so as I polish my lamp, it helps you polish yours. And as we polish our lamp, it increases the general light on our path, but also on the paths of those who are standing around us. It can't help it. That's just what happens. Our presence automatically liberates others. If you've ever been around the Dalai Lama, you know what I mean, what she means. Even in the midst of 10,000 people, I could feel his light shining on me as if it were shining just for me. And it gave me permission to think bigger just by being there with him. He's an amazing human being. When we allow our light to shine, our presence liberates others, and our larger consciousness expands consciousness, period. I almost wrote, when we do our inner work, our presence liberates others, but I'm trying to get away from this word work. I think it's part of the old story. You know, the old story was about putting our energy and our wiles and our intellect into action to make things different. The new story is about connection and making manifest the glory of God and remembering that we're connected to infinite possibility and to spirit and to each other and to all of creation. Remembering we're connected to that all the time. We can't get away from it. It's who we are. We're in the middle of it. So we're always connected to it. The old story defines getting ahead as making lots of money and having lots of stuff. And we all know what that means. We spend more and more and more to take care of our money and our stuff. So we have to go work harder so we can earn more money to have more stuff and maybe hire somebody to take care of our money and stuff, right?
Right.
And we have a similar idea about our consciousness. If we work harder, if we meditate longer, if we just push a little harder, we can break through to enlightenment. If we have a better vision board or better affirmations or pray harder, we'll make that breakthrough. It's all about effort. And don't misunderstand me, those are fabulous tools, every one of them. Meditation, affirmation, visioning, all that stuff, prayer, they're incredible tools to help us get to the point where we're standing on that edge. But if we work it, it's part of the old story. You know what I mean? We are reinforcing the same old story rather than simply allowing the fruits of those things to happen. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said over and over and over again that what we need is a chalice of acceptance. I love that term, a chalice of acceptance. He said, there is a vast difference between holding thoughts and holding things in thought. One is the attempt at an impossible coercion. The other is a mental acceptance. To hold thoughts as though we were forcing issues does no good. To hold in thought as though we were letting something happen is to use the greatest power of all. Letting something happen. Because here's the thing I've realized, all of our focus on work, on pushing, on striving, on trying harder, comes from a place of scarcity, of lack. You know what I mean? It's scarcity that whispers to us, there's not enough, you better work harder and earn a few more shekels. Or, you are not enough. You can't possibly fix this problem. Or, it's all about there not being enough. And, you know, when we see a problem out there, we either throw ourselves into work trying to change it, or we're paralyzed because it is so big we don't know what to do. And we think anything we could do couldn't possibly change it, right? So nothing changes. We're just tired. We just get more tired. That's the old story. It's all about scarcity. It's all about lack. We're still identifying ourselves with lack. The new story is based on a realization that because we are one with the stream of infinite possibility, everything we could possibly need is right here where we are. All the questions, all the answers, all the connections, it's all already right here, including that world where everyone can be happy. It's there too. And I have to remember that because it's part of our worldwide vision. A world that works for everyone, where everyone is clothed and fed and enfranchised and empowered and has the same chance to be happy that I do. It's a big vision. And I have to remind myself that it is an idea in the mind of God, as am I. It's all right here, right now. The new story comes from quantum science, to be sure, because quantum science tells us we are in the quantum field. We are part of it. And the quantum field is the field of all possibility. It also comes from every single spiritual and religious tradition ever. Ever. The mystical side of every tradition tells us that we're one with God. There's no reason for scarcity. As Jesus put it, most wonderful quote, "It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." Not just a little bit of it, not a crumb, the kingdom. Wow. That's a generous, awesome, amazing God. And that's what all of the religious and spiritual traditions tell us. It's all right here. The new story asks us to pay attention. To pay attention. To be aware rather than having to have the answer. Or to believe what our head tells us is the answer. To pay attention and be aware. And to not do anything. Not do anything until we know what to do from that deep place of guidance. That place where we are absolutely connected with all that is. And the new story is based on the awareness of unity and interrelatedness, relationship, connection, love, as the song said. The new story realizes that what we do in our personal lives and what happens out there are directly related, inextricably linked. So like I usually do, I'm going to tell you a story about myself because they're the ones I know the best. The other day I decided I was going to do Mark's chore for him. His chore is the dishes. I do the cooking, I do the shopping, I do the vacuuming, he does the dishes. And I had just made a hell of a mess. There were dishes everywhere, big load of dishes. And he was busy, and I thought, I'll do the dishes. So I'm standing there doing the dishes and having those thinky, T-H-I-N-K-Y, thinky thoughts, or kinky thoughts, or stinky thoughts, whatever you want to call them, thinky thoughts. I love that term, because they're the thoughts that just roll through our heads all the time. I was having thinky thoughts, and the first one was, boy, he better notice this. He just bloody well better notice I'm doing the dishes for him. And I thought, well, I'm not sure that's where I want to be coming from. So I came up with another one. He better be nice to me. He better be nice to me because I'm doing his chores. Well, that seemed pretty obvious too, and so I came up with a better idea. I'm going to be just really cool about this. I'm making the sacrifice, and I'm not making a big deal of it. Again, it's pretty obvious. It occurred to me, maybe I should just be a person of higher consciousness and more love. I should be more advanced. Do you see how I keep tripping over the old story? Over and over and over again. Finally, I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do the stupid dishes and put them away. I'm just going to do the dishes. I'm not going to plot and plan. I'm not going to think from separation. So I didn't. I didn't say anything. I didn't telegraph. I didn't say, did you notice I did the dishes? I didn't do any of that stuff, which I have done before. Probably will again. And I don't want to congratulate myself right now for doing nothing. What I want to convey is when we're aware of what we're thinking, our motives become really clear. They become really clear to us. When we're looking at the situation from separation, when we're trying to get brownie points, when we're trying to say, I behave in such an enlightened fashion, when any of that kind of stuff, we are in separation. And so sometimes when we don't know how to do it any other way, it's best not to do anything. It's best to simply be aware, drop way down into that place of guidance, and just wait for some clarity to rise up from there. Then we know exactly what to do. We're moving from a sense of reunion, unity, rather than a sense of separation and shortage and lack. How about our society, where we all seem to be rushing headlong towards self-destruction? We can wring our hands, which my mother did a lot of. We can go out and march. We can become overwhelmed with despair at the size of the problems, or we can pay attention to what we're thinking. We can become aware of the thinky thoughts. We can become aware of the fact that our feelings of despair and our feelings of this need to rush out and do something all come from separation. And we can wait until we move into that place of oneness and say, okay, deep guidance, voice of spirit within me, whatever you want to call it, speak to me and let me know what to do. So that when we act, we're acting from there, not from here. We're acting from wholeness rather than from separation. I think even these old habits of thinking and behaving that come about because of the old story we've told ourselves, I think even those habits succumb when we pay attention to them. When we're just willing to see, oh, I'm doing it again. That's not a good idea either. And when we just become aware of them. In fact, I think they actually come up for us to pay attention to them. Life has a way of bringing them to our attention. And when we can just go, oh, I see, and give some that space of awareness and wait until we get good guidance. The more we rest in that awareness and openness, in connection with our deepest self, the shinier we get. The shinier we get, the more our light shines. And the more we shine, the more we give others permission to shine. The more we, in our shininess, take shiny action based on that deep shine within us, that deep guidance, the more we show other people it's possible. So the path to our individual happiness and the path to a world where everyone can be happy are actually the same path. We pay attention. We recognize our thinky thoughts. We become aware. We allow ourselves to listen and wait. And then we act in accordance with our intent and that deep guidance that's always present. It's always there. We begin to tell a new story of oneness. about ourselves. We begin to tell a new story of oneness about our world. We begin to, wherever we go, unconsciously liberate people from their old stories. We begin to give permission by our very presence for others to do the same, to shine. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine. And so I invite you right now to just let your awareness begin to sink down into that deep place of constant connection with all that exists. That deep place where guidance is always available, where peace always exists, where we know that we know that we know. It is in this place that I recognize that there's only one of us, that we are all one in what we call God or Spirit or the universe or the quantum field or whatever we call it. Infinite wholeness, first cause. We are all one in it. And so wherever it is we are, because it is a holographic one, you can't chop it up into this part over here is abundance and that part over there is health. It's all that it is. And so where it is within us, it all is. The infinite stream of possibility. Everything that we could ever need. The answers to all the questions and the questions themselves. Right there, where you are. This is true of each one of us. As we just rest in that for a moment.
I am just a thread, a simple thread in this glorious web of light.
We are all drops within a stream, flowing towards an ocean of light. We may forget where we come from. We may forget where we're going to. I might not see that you're a reflection of me as much as I'm a reflection of you.
And so knowing this truth of each one of us, I speak my word for us today, knowing that we each just allow ourselves to become aware. We pay attention to our thoughts. We lean forward into that deep guidance. And we just wait until we know what to do. That action that is taken in accordance with our purest and most powerful intent changes the world. It changes our individual lives. It changes the lives of those around us. And it changes the world so that no matter what we are doing, we do it from a new story of wholeness, of oneness, of beauty, of joy, of love.
I am just a seed, a blessed seed with eternity unfolding in me. And I pray that as I grow, I will reveal the love that illuminates my soul. When I remember where we come from, when I remember where we're going to, then I can see that you're a reflection of me as much as I'm a reflection of you.
And so I give thanks. I give thanks for this time we've had together this morning to recognize and to remember what we know, that there is only one of us. There is only one life in which we all partake. I give thanks for this community and the light that it shines out into the world. I give thanks for each person here. And I give thanks to creation for life itself, this amazing path of learning, of expanding, of growing, of loving. Thank you, God. place of thanksgiving, I release these words knowing that the universe that always says yes to us has already received them and has made them so. They are unfolding in reality in our world and in our time as we speak. So we just let them be, knowing they are so. And we say together, and so it is.
This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one.
This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one. This is my simple prayer. May I become a reflection of the infinite one.
Amen. And so now we have an opportunity to contribute in support of the center, and we also always take this moment just to become grateful. To stop and count our blessings, as they say. To stop and remember how blessed we are to have the opportunities that we have, to be fed and clothed and housed and loved, to have this community to be part of, to celebrate and encourage each other. And so I ask you, as the basket passes through your hands, whether you're able to give or not, that you feel from this place of gratitude the blessing, and that you bless this community and the basket, that our prosperity may continue to grow, so that our work may continue to expand. And let us affirm together, gratefully I give with an attitude of abundance.
Gratefully I give with an attitude of abundance.
I know that as I give, so do I receive.
I know that as I give, so do I receive.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Oops. Oh, there we are. Thank you, Becky. That was wonderful. So we have a bunch of announcements, and one other person has an announcement too. First of all, it's birthday Sunday. So we have cake and soup and sides in the social hall after the service. So please stay. And a happy birthday to our January babies. Donna Carpenter, Daryl Lee, Anna Cruikshank, Doug Ellis, Nancy Helling, Elizabeth Kimbler, Aiden Russell, Sebastian Shandaramani, who would want you to know he's 5. Alexis Critchley, and did I miss anyone? Happy birthday to all of you January babies. On February 6th, the center is hosting a winter dance party. This is always just a great event. We have a person who will be DJing and instructing, so if you think you can't dance, come on down, he'll teach you. Food, games, fun, fellowship, a 50-50 raffle, and more. It's always a really good party, 7 to 10 p.m. There's no charge. Of course, donations are welcome and they come back to the center. And so bring your friends. It's a great non-threatening way to introduce them to some of the people that you know here and do a little country line dancing while you're at it. If you have a key to this building, please see Clara in the library after the service with a candlestick. No. If you have a key to the building, please see Clara in the library because we're getting a new security system, and so your old code won't work, and so that means that if you try to get in, the police will come and the paramedics. It'll just be a big mess. So be sure you see Clara to get your new code. The system's going in on Tuesday. If you are headed back to the kitchen during the service for any reason, please don't go in if there's a meditation in progress sign on the door. The kiddos are meditating, and they only meditate for a few minutes, like 6 or 7 minutes. So if you can just wait till they're finished, that would be great and very respectful of them. They go back in that really cool space that the meditation Sangha has created to do their meditation. Next Sunday, I will be guest speaking up in Akron, thank you, at Summit Spiritual Center, which is a study group that, or teaching chapter that is connected with us. And so Reverend Linda Ketchum will be here. Reverend Linda Ketchum went through, it'd be really nice to hear from her. She went through all of her practitioner training and ministerial training as a member of this center, and then she went off to Cincinnati and started a church, and recently retired and moved back up here. So come next week and hear Reverend Linda. Right now, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Tina Lugay for a very important announcement. Yay, Tina!
Thank you. I'm going to use this if that's all right. I got this big skirt on, so I don't want to trip. Well, thank you. What an amazing song. That was very beautiful, awesome service, and I hate to say the word work after we just got deprogrammed for saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've been asked to help out with an important event, but first I just want to introduce myself. I know a lot of people, you know me, but my name's Tina, and my awesome partner is Daryl over there. He's the better half, no doubt. But I'm a travel agent by trade, but I also am the Midwest Regional Poker Director for the world's largest women's poker tour. So that's a mouthful, trust me. So because I have some gaming experience and lived in Vegas and worked at the Venetian, they asked me to help with Monte Carlo night. Thank you. So we have these posters, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But that's going to be Friday, March 6th at 7, from 7 to 11. That's a Friday night. This is going to be a fundraiser, obviously, and a fundraiser, a fun time fundraiser. Let me get my notes out here. They're upside down. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a Monte Carlo night. I'm sure a lot of you have been to a fish fry, a kids football game, a football team, fundraiser, a Monte Carlo night, those sorts of things. I'm sure most of us have been to one of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to have table games such as blackjack, poker, Chuck-a-Luck, which is that wheel with the dice on it where you put your chip down and you spin the wheel and you win some money. We're going to have psychic readings by our very own awesome Michelle. We're going to have table games or 50-50 raffles. And we're going to have some tables out here in the center. So how this is going to look, we're going to put the poker table over here, blackjack tables around the perimeter, and then the 2 Chuck-a-Luck tables over here. And then we're going to put the tall, what do you call them? The tall round tables, you know what I'm talking about, where you sit your drink on? No, for like beverage tables, those sorts of things. We're also going to sell beverages and food in the social hall. So here's what I need to make this happen. I can't do this all by myself. I'm pretty awesome, but I'm not that awesome. So I have some logistic needs. I need things, there are sign-up sheets over here that Clara, awesome Clara, has put out here that have the different categories on them. And if you can sign up, that would be great. This is what I need. I say I need, but we all need. We need dealers. We need 12. If you don't know how to deal blackjack or you've never played, that's okay. Show up, I'll teach you. It's really easy. I can count poker chips and I can't count money, but don't ask me to do a math problem. I don't know why, but that's just how I've been. I need 12, because we're gonna do this in 2 shifts, or 2-hour shifts, so you're not stuck doing the same thing and you can kind of go out. We need 3 people for security. We need approximately 4 or 5 people for the kitchen serving the food and the beer, soda, water, those sorts of things. I need 2 people to go at the door. How we're going to make this happen is it's 21 and up. Everyone will get a wristband so that they know they've been ID'd and it's legal, so we don't get in trouble. We're going to have a cash cage over here where the welcome center is, where they're going to buy their chips and their tickets. You're going to hand a ticket to the people in the back in the kitchen. That way the people that are working in the kitchen don't have to worry about handling money and the food and the drinks also. So that's a lot, but it's extraordinary. And we're going to work our tails off. We're going to be exhausted. We're going to have a blast. And this is the most important thing. We're going to do this for our center, the place that we get to come to every single week. That we get to have the amazing Cece give us our virtual vitamins that we need every week. That we have all of the services that we provide as a community. It's going to bring us into a higher awareness into the community. We're going to be able to raise a bunch of money. A bunch o' money. That's what we're going to do. And that's the important thing, so that we can share the vision and we can further what we need to do. And that's the exciting part about this. We'll have music. This is going to be a lively thing. Listen, I'm going to talk about this every single week until we get this done. So just listen. Don't fight me. Just do it.
Just sign up.
I'm a sassafras. I've come through 3rd generation, honestly, and I'm going to just tell you, just go do it, because if I don't get it done, I'm going to make you do it. And you're going to like it, and it's going to be a blast. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, Tina, thank you so much for making me do that, right? So really, I mean, we can't do this without a team. This is going to be a full team. I want you to put this on your Facebook pages. We have Facebook links. We have posters that Clara has put together. These can go in, and if you want some, you can put these in businesses. We have smaller ones. You can put in your own business. You can tape it to the back window of your car. I don't care what you do with it, but just make it visible. We have an Eventbrite page. We have a Facebook page. We will have an Instagram page, and this is just social media. We're going to blast the communities. We're going to put this in all of the newspapers, all of the city papers, all of that kind of stuff. So this is going to be amazing. If we don't make several $1,000s out of this, I'm going to be one upset girl. And I'll have nothing to blame but myself. But I need your help. I needed this as a collective opportunity. Bring your kids, your friends, your nephews, your nieces, whoever they are. And people want to help. If they say, oh yeah, okay, great, we're going to have $3 beer and $2 food, and we get to go gamble and have a good time, of course they're going to show up. I mean, I hope so anyway. That's the key. So anyhow, I've taken enough time, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on. The sign-up sheets are there. Claire is a great resource. We're already a great resource for this. If you have any questions or you want to volunteer, please let us know. Sign up on the sheets, and we'll get you all set. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. You are amazing. It is going to be a really fun night. And don't tell the fire marshal, we're going to pack him in here. Okay? The only other thing I have to say is if there's anything you'd like prayer support for after the service, please see one of the beautiful ladies with the teal or white shawls. They are our licensed prayer practitioners. All you have to do is walk up and say, I'd like prayer, and they will take it from there. They have spent a long time training, and they know how to see the truth for you even when you can't. And you could also put a written prayer request in the prayer chest back there if you'd rather. So we have a closing affirmation and a closing song, and then we're all going to head to the social hall for cake and soup. We have 3 soups today, so check them out. So stand up. Our closing song is We Are One. It's on page 58. But first, let's just remember, the wholeness of the universe is seeking expression through me.
The wholeness of the universe is seeking expression through me.
Its nature is goodness, truth, beauty, and wisdom.
Its nature is goodness, truth, beauty, and wisdom.
I allow it to shine through me.
I allow it to shine through me.
Today and always.
Today and always.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Have a great week, you shiny people.
Thank you.